How does Mark Collett introduce himself now?
Well, I'm a British nationalist. I've been a nationalist for the best part of 2 decades. I was involved in the British National Party from the year 2000. I was initially the British National Party youth organiser. I did that for some time. Eventually I ended up as the party's head of publicity.
Shazia Hobbs no longer contributes to TR News. Just about everyone will know this. Not because we went public, but because Shazia did. She did this with the help of some ethno-nationalist and anti-Semitic friends, people with a different ideological view and agenda to Tommy Robinson.
I've never been called an anti-Semite, but the last few weeks, the last month or so, you know, I wrote an article called Hypocrisy. So, you know, so I'm an anti-Semite. I don't hate Jews. I don't want any violence towards Jews. Of course I don't. I don't want any violence towards anybody, really.
Hello, this video is a direct plea to Mark Collett. Mark, I hope that you get to watch this because I need your help.
Shazia's friend believes there is a war with Judaism. Last time we looked, Judaism is not a proselytizing faith that encourages people to convert. Christianity is a proselytizing faith without the violence. Islam is a proselytizing faith backed up with a political supremacist ideology and the religious mandates to carry out acts of violence to bring in more followers and increase its power. Suggesting we are at war with Judaism is not truthful.
Hello. Well, a few days ago it was Holocaust Remembrance Day, where on social media the usual virtue signalling, empty-brained people of the world pour their hearts out for people that they didn't even know, and without even researching the facts. And I get quite triggered by it, actually. But I just wanted to show you something. Oh yeah, before I show you that, it's quite astonishing that these blue checkmark people on Twitter, for example, write such things as "Let's all remember the 6 million Jews that died in the Holocaust," blah 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 blah. Well, funny that, because on this ADL hate site web page that I've shown you before, yeah, the ADL, if you go into that website and find the Zyklon B tattoo, you will read there that Zyklon B was the name of the gas used to kill over 1 million victims, most of them Jews, in the death camps constructed by Nazi Germany during the Holocaust. This is from the Anti-Defamation League. So they're saying over 1 million. Well, do they mean 6 million, or do they mean about 1 million? When are they going to get their stories straight? And when are people going to wake up to this bullshit and start researching facts, start researching the Holocaust, and stop wasting time pouring out false emotion just because you think it's the right thing to do, the virtuous thing to do? I'm sorry to say this, but you're all idiots. Those of you who pour out these false emotions, remembering the 6 million Jews that died in the Holocaust, you're nothing but empty-minded fools. Do some research and then ask these bodies, such as the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, exactly what they mean. Bye.
What triggers Dion? Is it that only 1 million Jews were killed? Jews were slaughtered by Nazi Germany in many ways, from overwork, dehydration, starvation, being shot, gassed, beaten and more. That's not bullshit. It actually happened. Dion tells everyone to stop pouring out false emotions and stop virtue signalling about the Holocaust. You shouldn't care about it. What has it got to do with you, apart from recognising a state-run genocide based on race and belief? Actually, the number of Jews killed during the Holocaust were around 6 million, according to William Hottle, as he recalled a conversation he had with Adolf Eichmann. Eichmann was responsible for facilitating and managing the logistics involved in the mass deportation of Jews to ghettos and extermination camps. You can find those sources and numbers quoted in transcripts of the Nuremberg trials.
Thousands of comments over 1 year of this channel are telling me Tommy Robinson's a shill for Israel.
Tommy is not a Jewish shill. He is his own man, makes his own decisions and stands by them, whether people agree with him or not. Those are the qualities of a true leader. People who suggest Tommy is a Jewish shill tend to be people who have issues with all Jews. That says more about them than Tommy.
I watch a lot of your content, Mark, and I admire you.
After all that we have shown you about Mark Collett, do you really still admire him? Or do you see what hides beneath a slightly older and more polished exterior? Just because people touch on things that we oppose doesn't mean we have to admire their form of bastardised nationalism or them as individuals. Tommy has made this point very clear numerous times over the years. Yet the same ethno-nationalists must keep stirring up trouble and division in Tommy's movement with the help of their useful idiots.
Then I talk about Jews and Judaism, and I think, we've got Islamophobia and we have laws to protect Jewish people from criticism. And then all of a sudden, I'm not welcome in the movement, and, where's your Israeli flag? And it's just crazy. And, a lot of the people that are shouting and trying to shut me down from our side of, have probably never even been to Israel. And they're all pro-Israel and Zionists, so you put Israel first. Where is the love for your own country?
Tommy Robinson has visited Israel. Tommy Robinson supports Israel's right to exist and defend itself. Tommy Robinson understands that Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East. Does this mean that Tommy Robinson does not put the needs of Britain and British people first? People can and do support Israel and the right for Jews to live in their ancestral homeland. To suggest that anyone who supports the same things as Tommy does are neglecting our beloved country is a disgraceful thing to suggest. We can support Germany's right to fight back against Islamisation. Does that also make us unpatriotic? Or does that form of logic not fit in with a manufactured anti-Jewish narrative.
There is this huge hypocrisy in, especially in the anti-Islam movement in the UK, especially amongst Tommy Robinson supporters, that somehow Israel is the great ally of the British people, that Israel is in fact a nation that smiles upon people like Tommy Robinson, and that Jews are an ally of our cause. Well, in fact, this isn't strictly true.
The problem is that when people take all Jews as one homogenous group who all think and do the same things, you open yourself up to ignorance and bigotry. Jews have different political affiliations. They can be found on the left, the right and the centre, just as you would find here in Britain. TR News does not tar all Muslims with the same brush. So why would we make an exception for Jews? Politics, religion and individual beliefs are nuanced. Failing to recognise or understand that nuance leads to propaganda, lies, disinformation and exaggeration.